time for the recap.
All righty. Well, since it seems to be a theme, I guess the Bard will do the recap. And if I forget anything, you guys can remind me. So, of course, we met up first with our stalwart allies, the Koto, in order to determine the plan of attack to get their friends and relatives out of the Lizardman mine. As we traveled towards the mine, we firmed up this plan of attack. The adventurers, of course, would be going into the back, as all real adventurers do it from behind. Oh, wait a minute, wrong note, sorry. Yes, there we go. As Karn pointed out, our job was to rescue the people, not to strike down the lizard men. So, of course, we went in the back in order to rescue more slaves that way. There you go. Unfortunately, the lizard men or whoever had set up that mine had set up a fiendish trap for us that we were unable to figure out ahead of time and lost Bornod. He gave his life for me. I can never forgive him. Thank God it burned up that pickaxe handle because he kept licking it. It's not like I was ever going to take that pickaxe back. Sorry, wrong note again. There we go. And the rest of us entered in before the trap reset. But we found out that, yes, indeed, whoever had set this back entrance had set yet more traps, ropes interlaced with the supports that could be used to tumble down the mines upon our heads. Our valiant Bard managed to note it, thanks to his background in mining, and we cut the ropes as we were going down. But we came to our first chance to actually rescue the slaves. We found lizard men supervising slave miners and decided to draw the lizard man out. But they were smarter than us, for they sent the slaves first and ran cowardly out the back while the slaves were engaging us. Fortunately, Karn, in his infinite wisdom, managed to persuade the slaves that we were indeed friends, and even gave them the option to join us in our valiant quest. And indeed, a couple of them did. Actually, I think all of them did, didn't they? We attempted to flank the guards and went in a different direction, only to have the mine collapse on us in that direction. So we were forced to follow the guards where they led. Finally, we came into a large room and ran into even more guards, but our light was blinding them, and they fought poorly, and they were dropping like flies indeed. The vermin they were just piling up, and so they retreated around the corner, and we were thinking to engage them, but Karn found a different enemy indeed. Or was it Zophan? I can't remember.
That was Karn.
So yes, indeed, Karn found our true foe, the fiendish fish-faced foe who laughed at our initial attempts to attack him and cast darkness upon us so that we could not see to get rid of his evil. So instead, realizing that there was a powerful object inscribed on the wall behind us, a great eye in silver, all started to attack the eye, and the mine started to shake as it happened. Realizing that we were indeed perhaps outmatched, for the fish took no damage from our attacks, Zophan rang the bell, but unfortunately it was an elvish trap, for only elves would not fear the ringing of the bell. Well, so Karn once again failed a fear saving throw. Try to do better, Paladin, why don't you? And started running along with Orion, who, I guess I'll have to change that when I actually do that in the tavern, because I don't want to say I was a coward too. But okay, there you go. Half the group started running, afraid of the ringing of the bell. The other half continued and kept attacking the fiendish idol of the eye on the wall. And indeed, after a couple of more attacks, the mine itself started to collapse, and everybody started moving out. Karn and Orion were first to the door, and Karn, being the true son of Cuthbert that he was, volunteered to go first and take the trap on himself. And indeed, it flared mightily and burned him. But thanks to his fortitude for the day, he survived and allowed Orion out, followed shortly by Felix and the rest of the slaves. And Felix, being the true son of a bastard that he is, pushed one of the slaves first and made sure that they triggered the trap. Except, of course, the intrepid paladin was still running with Orion at that point and cannot punish Felix for that because he does not know. We have lost most of our comrades now, for I have lost Nod, and Zeiss got killed in the complex. And we do not know how the Koto fared since we brought down the complex. So we must meet up with them and determine exactly how many survived, how many got out of Durance Vile, and how many died when the complex fell on them.
But friend Orion, I would not call it cowardice. I would call it the dastardly effects of an evil spell.
Oh, of course. Thank you. I'll make that in my notes, yes.
Zophan did get effed up. He got a huge cut across his face and a concussion. And he is in bad shape.
What's my name again?
Exactly.
Who's the president? Yeah, it's Cuthbert.
So you guys are outside the complexes. The ground is rumbling, and you can see it caving in. And it all lasts about 20 seconds, and finally it settles down.
Zophan is he's very out of it. He sits there for a minute and then starts puking.
Right, concussion. Well, I presume at some point it wears off, so Karn and Orion, who got out in one batch, as it were, sort of turn around and head back to check on everybody else.
Yeah. As soon as we can.
Felix, Zophan, it is so wonderful that you survived. Did we manage to rescue any of the slaves this time?
Sadly, one of them got caught in the trap.
A memorial to Nod. And I will take out the pickaxe head and sort of find a rock nearby and use the pickaxe to carve N-O-D, Nod, in the rock and slam the pickaxe head down next to his name. Is there anybody else we should memorialize such?
Z-Man.
Zeiss, right. That is his name. Right. Zeiss.
Yeah.
Okay, so carve out Zeiss on the rock.
There's also
keep going.
The matter of the unknown slave.
Okay, we'll call him that. Sort of like the unknown soldier. He's the unknown slave. There you go.
So we rescued no one?
No, you rescued... there are two slaves you rescued. One is a male and a female. They're both humans. They look human, so probably somebody like Z-Man in their loincloth / tube top. And they look just relieved that they are out of there now.
We should meet up with our allies should they have survived the collapse. Speaking of which, did we have a specific place that we were going to meet them?
The rest of your group is about a half a mile away, so you could probably meet up with them. That would probably be the rally point.
Oh, that's right, because everybody else was in camp recovering from other misadventures.
So you head that way. You can see that there is a torch, or should I say a lantern burning, and there's a bunch of shadows, figures around this lantern. You spot an ant and a rider, and then you spot another ant with no rider, and the rest of your group is there waiting for you. The dwarf, the Koto, comes over to you, disembarks off his ant mount. It and doesn't look like the one you met before. This looks like one of the group that Ronax brought. We managed to free 6 of the slaves. Unfortunately, the rest of the Koto perished. I was the only survivor.
At least
Did
you
they
survived.
fall in the collapse or something else?
No, it was in the battle. It was there was a lot more than we anticipated, but we gave it a hard fight.
Did you
Well,
at least
certainly
take?
Cuthberts now look out for their souls in the afterlife.
Hey,
Did you at least take a lot of the lizard men down with you?
we killed scores of them.
We killed or presumably were killed in the collapse close to a score ourselves. They really came up from the lower levels in force. Do you know what was driving them?
It's probably probably that. If you ever got to that fish creature, it was probably him.
What?
Did you get to look at him?
Unfortunately, yes. Our weapons bounced. Our spells bounced. What is that thing?
Some shaman from below. Hopefully he perished as well.
I mean, he has an entire structure sitting on top of him.
We can hope that as a fish he could not run fast enough to escape the collapse. Let us pray indeed.
At one point, I believe you set him on fire.
Hey. Well done.
Well, that's right. We did sacrifice more oil for the cause because the weapons didn't seem to be doing anything.
Be on our guard. If weapons weren't able to make any sort of dent in this creature, then I hardly think a bunch of rocks will.
We can at least hope that it was trapped.
We managed to free one of our Koto brethren. I will take him with me as I will return north. If you need transport, I can loan you the other mount that has the skid. It should be able to move you to wherever you wish to go.
We need to make it to Clinkville at some point.
Is that somewhere in the Underdark? I'm not familiar with this place.
Maybe? It's not. Concussed Zophan isn't sure.
That's a mighty big. That's quite a scratch you got on your face.
No wonder my face hurts. How big is it? Give me something else. Something reflective.
I would avoid looking in a mirror if I was you.
What do you mean? That's a sign of honor. You wear it with the pride.
Yes, indeed. It makes your face look dashing. Let's see. Do I have a mirror in this with this guy? Sorry, nothing reflective that I can see. But indeed, it makes your face look dashing. You can say whatever it is to the women, make up tales, and get tender affections from it.
It's not like you cut yourself with your own blade, I'd say.
I don't remember.
I'm sure everyone else saw it.
What year is it?
I believe you failed a crucial parry.
Oh.
One of the lizard men gashed you well. You shall be fine in a few days. Unless you decide to drink one of your potions.
Has Karn used his blessing of Cuthbert for the day?
I think it's the same day as he helped the drow. If it's not,
Yeah.
he can lay on hands for 2 points. But isn't it the same day that I helped the drow?
Yeah, I think it's the same day.
Yeah, because as much happened, that wasn't exactly a really long internal time run. So yeah, okay. That's why we have a camp, right? So we can sit down and recuperate.
Yeah, we will rest, and then I will head north. If you wish to use the ant and the skid, I will send it with you. It will know how to return.
That would be excellent indeed. Thank you, friends.
I don't know if I should rest right now. I could use someone's help to prod me awake if I start falling asleep. Felix, will you kick me if I start falling asleep?
I would be honored to.
Yes, indeed. Felix will be glad to kick you at any time.
Thank you. I hope the sore ribs will offset the lack of sleep.
However you want to do the rest of like the day is up to you. So there are obviously two freed slaves that are humans here from the Underdark who have obviously pledged their allegiance to you. Will do whatever it takes. So it's up to you to decide, you want to keep them with you or just send them on their way. The rest of them are crowded around the fire. You notice, along with the dwarf, that there are two kobolds, another human-ish, that looks similar to the humans you have. In the Underdark, they're called mutants because they can slightly shapeshift. An elf, most likely from Topside, and an ape, who stands out. He's very tall, kind of skin. Looks like he's lost a lot of weight. He has some kind of injury that he's like holding his arm. But they're all kind of crowded around the fire, eating some kind of rations.
I mean, we're headed topside, so anyone who wants to join us on our trip, since we have the skid, we should have ample space. Anyone who wants to join us on our trip is more than welcome. Field.
We didn't promise to leave the Underdark as soon as we help with the slaves.
I'm tired of this place. Where are we again?
Look up, look down, look around. You're underground.
Man, this is a big cave.
It's a very big
The
cave.
Underdark. A hazardous place.
So I'm going to assume you guys set up some kind of watch. The next day, there's no activity. Russell, give me a D12 roll for the next day, the weather.
All right.
If you lost HP, you are able to get some rest, so you can roll the HP.
And now for the weather.
Now for the weather.
10.
10.
10 for weather.
There's a lot of insects in the air. They don't seem to bite or anything. They're just pests. They're just, covered with just gnats everywhere. It just seems to roll right in. Swarms of insects. Of course, the kobolds think this is the best thing that's ever happened because they are chowing down on them. All right. Felix, give me a D20 roll.
17.
The day before, you felt sick, whatever. Today, you're kind of short of breath. Like, you get up and just start moving around and realize you have a hard time catching your breath. And you have kind of these strange little red dots, like, on your arms.
Is there anyone in this whole cadre of people that is a medical practitioner of any sort?
Karn has lay on hands, and he can. What is it? They can cure disease once a week, or
Yeah, I was thinking more of the cleric persuasion. But any port will do in a storm.
If you are fifth level, yeah. So just kill a bunch of shit.
Sorry, Paladin. 5th level or higher to cure disease.
he's immune to all disease. Yeah.
Right.
5th level or higher is when you get to cure disease. And I can start turning undead at 3rd level.
Yeah, sorry, bards have druidic spells, so no cure disease. All right. Well, all aboard who's going aboard, I guess. Headed for the surface, right? An eventual rendezvous with that floaty thing that none of us seem to ever fully remember. Oh, yeah, the Thunderous Fury.
You still, also, Felix, you still have that -2.
Yeah.
Karn, if you want to make a D6 roll.
D6.
Yeah.
4.
Yeah, I mean it's not a disease or whatever this is not something you've seen before.
This is a mighty puzzling ailment that you have.
Well, hopefully somebody topside knows better.
The dwarf walks over as you're having this discussion. He's like, where'd you get this? As he looks at it in the light.
I honestly don't quite recall what thing gave me this ailment. Something down below.
Are you healthy enough to travel, though? You
I
seem
believe
out of
so.
breath when you walked over there just to take a piss.
I'll ride on the skid. I'm sure I'll be fine.
Very well. All right. We will head north. Oh, you also have Pincher and Eyeball. And the reason I say that is because they kind of know their way around here.
Pincher.
Does he know anything about it?
Pincher was Basil and Ethics' protege, not
Yeah.
Zophan.
Pincher's like, that looks weird.
I appreciate the diagnosis.
That sounds like a problem.
Yeah. So the other group, the other part of this group that's sort of in the mallet space would be 2 fighters, 2 thieves. I think that's it. So yeah, I don't think there is actually a cleric or anybody in that realm. So the 2 slaves that you saved, what are you going to do with them? They will accompany you as long as you wish. I mean, hell, they'll go all the way up topside if they have to fulfill their debt.
Are they natives? I mean, are they natives to the Underdark or not?
Yeah, they live. Yeah, these 2 that you saved. Third one tragically did not make it. They live north of here. They say the village north of here. The village got raided, and a lot of them were taken. But
And we're headed which direction in general?
if you guys are headed back out through that Accursed Temple, you are headed south.
So we'd be taking them opposite the way they sort of want to go.
Do they need help getting to their village? Will they be safe if they travel there on their own?
They feel like they could probably do that. Yes, they may need they'll probably grab some like makeshift weapons or something, but they feel like they could get there.
I'm of a mind that we just send them home. We don't need we didn't free them so we could make personal slaves out of them, right?
Yeah, I agree. And I'm sorry, no one will replace Nod in my memory. Thank goodness.
Yes, and the Z-Man. I shall remember them well. They shall be in my prayers every day to Cuthbert.
So, I mean, yeah, if it's possible, according to their whatever, absolve them of their debt and send them on their way.
They thank you profusely, and the one male Garniff holds up the pamphlet of St. Cuthbert, which you promptly had given him. It says, "We will be protected on our journey north." And they head and they leave. The other question is there's the ape and the elf, which don't belong here in the Underdark, and as the dwarf has kind of hinted and not so subtly that you should probably take them with you and get them the hell out of here.
Well, I mean, I made the offer. You know, anybody who wants to join us on the sled, we're headed for the surface as best we know how. So, no promises afterwards, but we're headed out.
The 2 of them will join you. The rest of the slaves, the 2 kobolds and the human and the dwarf, the rest of them go with the Koto as they head north.
So our extra companions are now an ape and an elf. Do we have names?
Yes, I'll put it in the chat. So your characters, you guys probably don't know it, but your characters will know this, that apes are a certain class. Obviously, they are pretty much like the ruling class of your world. Elves are considered the lowest class. They are the slave class.
All hail the ape empire.
Oh, don't. We've been trying to dodge them for for so long. I mean, we are loyal to the Ape Empire.
Dear friend Zophan, here, come feel the love and light of Cuthbert, and I'll lay hands on Zophan for to heal 2 points.
And as you lay hands on Zophan, he's gonna come close to you and whisper in your ear, "You might want to be careful with talking about Cuthbert around the Ape Empire. They're not very accepting of other religions. We don't know what this ape's disposition is towards traditions and customs of their empire. It could be big trouble."
But it is
Right,
my
so the
sworn
paladin-
oath to spread the word of Cuthbert.
I was going to say, the paladin who proclaims Cuthbert every other sentence and hands out pamphlets is going to hold his tongue. Yeah, right. Not seeing that happening.
You just might want to consider finding out how our new companion feels about the religious beliefs of the Ape Empire before continuing spreading the word of truth.
All will be well, friend. All will be well.
Pincher is going to take you back through the Accursed Temple in a back way. It will take a full day's travel west. Give me a D6 roll.
4.
Leaving the mine, you travel southwest and begin to enter sort of caverns. Some of them are filled with a few inches to a few feet of water. It is slow trekking. Of course, you have shortness of breath and are just sitting in the skid as it's moving, and the ant is pulling its weight. Pincher is kind of like directing it where to go. You travel most of the day. You come up to like a passage, and Pincher stops and gets out and pulls out like a torch to show you, and you can see that there once was an entrance there, but it's been boarded up with like rocks. And he says, "This is strange, but the temple is this way."
Does it look like it was done rather neatly, or does it appear to be like part of like a rock fall?
It looks deliberate.
Well, I'm in no state to help.
Did we come this way? Was this within the last couple of days or not?
You've never been this way. He's kind of bringing you in like a back entrance.
Okay. So how far around would it be if we can't take this way?
He says that to lead you to the main entrance, you would have to go. It would probably be another day of travel.
Well, I've got mining as a background skill, as you pointed out. So I'll take my pick and sort of poke around a bit, tap it, and see, how thick is this? Did somebody put in 15 feet of rubble, or did somebody put in 5 feet of rubble,
Yeah, it's not much. A couple hits and a rock falls and everybody dies. A rock falls and you see a little bit of like light coming through, and Pincher says, "Oh, that's." You see like this yellow-orange light shoot through into this tunnel. Coming, he's like, "That's the mineral pool. I'm correct. This is the right entrance."
Mineral pool?
Oh,
All right,
yes.
so, I mean, it'll be an easy clear, guys, or do we take the hint that somebody doesn't want people to go this way, or do we take an extra day getting out?
Let's get out of here.
That's true. We need to get Felix, especially to a cleric, if we can find one. Okay. I'll clear it if I can. Otherwise, I'll hand the pickaxe to Karn and be manager and direct him. No, there. No, a little more to the left.
Yeah, it takes like an hour. You knock all the rocks off, and you guys like enter this this cavern. It's like 30 feet across. There's a pool in the middle that's just it's got like yellow and orange like shooting lights out of it. You can smell it too. There's a certain smell to it. It's very warm in here. All of you just kind of like move into this room. And to the north is a passage, and straight to the east is a passage, and to the south you can see a passage that's blocked by some rocks and like a door. And Pincher says, well, our camp, I know the way. As he says, if you head east, that's where that river is. You should be able to get into where the rest of the temple is. And looks at Eyeball. He's like, if there's any left of us.
Well, he's a downer.
Then you distinctly hear somebody whistling, like in the up in the north passage, like whistling away.
Like they're working in the body work.
Yeah, you can hear the footfalls, and they're just whistling like it's a casual afternoon day.
Well, okay. Wait a minute. I have to judge. Is he on tune? Is he on beat? How's he doing? We can't have amateur theatrics when there's a professional around.
Pretty damn good.
Is he whistling in a minor or a major key?
I'll take out my flute and join him, you know.
It's in 3/4 time.
I'll take out the flute and join him, you know.
So you're all in there. Pincher and Eyeball kind of walk over. They don't wear like clothing or anything. They just kind of walk over to that pool and they set in it and lay in there, and they're going, like they're refreshed. And you hear this whistling and the footsteps, and they must hear you playing because they're like whistling along with you. And they turn the corner, and everybody looks, and you see what appears to be a woman who is probably early 20s, human, with like pigtails, and she's holding some of those crystals that you saw earlier. She's got like 2 of them in her hand, and she's listening. She looks at you, and she smiles, and she whistles, and then she sees all of you. She's like, ah! And she turns and starts running north.
We mean you no harm.
We're friendly, really.
No, really, we're friendly. Come back.
So I'll ask Pincher, is the fountain good for humans too?
Oh, yeah, you should be fine. I mean,
okay.
Just don't drink the water.
Oh, so soaking in it, okay. Drinking, no.
Mm-hmm.
Huh. Fine. I'll sort of stick my head in and, splash it over my head and bring it out of the hair. And...
Yeah, it's kind of refreshing. He looks at you and he's like, you got to get all in.
I'm going to wade into it with hopes that this might help whatever ailment I have.
So explain wading into it.
Yeah, so I'm going to like how deep is the fountain?
This pool probably is like 4 feet deep.
Okay, so I will kind of step into it, and then once I'm like reasonably far into it, I will like slide down and like lay in it and like try and go completely under.
Okay, here's the $500 question. Do you have all your shit on?
No, I take off my plate mail before I...
Okay.
But my like normal clothes, I'm still wearing all of them. I just let them get like...
Yeah, okay, yeah. So, yeah, you get, as you walk up to the pool, and it's like got this white, like grainy crust around it. And it's bubbling, and it's got a certain smell to it. And as you start like putting your feet in, and Pincher's like, Yeah, everything's got to go to get in here.
All right. Strip down completely. No modesty.
If you are low any hit points, you will recover them.
I'm not, so that does not happen.
But you feel refreshed. That kind of that shortness of breath, it makes you feel better.
Zophan, you should take a little dip. Karn and I will guard you. Go ahead and take a dip, Zophan.
I could certainly use it.
It was refreshing. I feel more myself.
And he kind of clumsily starts stripping his clothes off. Also too tired to care. It hasn't been 24 hours yet since.
Yeah, it's been 24 hours, yeah.
Okay. So he's clumsily taking stuff off. He has to kind of balance himself every now and then, vertigo. And manages to get it all off and wades into the pool.
Spending a little time in here, you will start to recover your hit points depending on how long you stay in here. How many are you down? Are you at max?
I am at max.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if you dunk your face in, that scar looks a lot better. It's like you can see the scar, but it's not swollen anymore. You definitely feel better. This is certainly refreshing.
Yeah, he dunked his face in, and then run it through his hair, and probably just start bathing. You know.
Yeah. Your new ape associate gets out and gets in it and the elf. The elf, of course, takes the exact opposite side that the ape does, and they both get into the pool. Pool is actually pretty big. It's like 20 across and 12. It's like 20 by 12, so it's pretty decent. Pincher says it may take some time to. We may. It's been a long day. We may want to rest. This may be the safest spot. As long as we don't, he points at the door, go down that way.
What's that way?
Yeah.
And he looks at Eyeball like, okay, well, that's where the Dream Dragon is.
The what?
The Dream Dragon.
What is a dream dragon?
Came here when the Cataclysm happened. I think it originates from the land of Fae.
Oh, great. A Fey dragon. Yeah, let's not say we did.
Are dream dragons unfriendly? Is there only one dream dragon?
Pincher says, I hope there's only one. I'd only heard rumors before the rebellion, and then when I was lost, but Eyeball says it's in here.
If Basil Wilberforce is still with him, he is definitely interested in the idea that there might be treasure.
Yes, Basil is there, yes.
Do dream dragons have lots of treasure?
I would assume they do.
And you can see a glint in Basil's eye. Surely we should stay the night here.
Oh, he's going to sneak off.
Clintock will cast his gaze towards Basil.
I'll start up a rousing song about, the dragon with, claws like swords and teeth like knives, and that, breathes and sets fire to entire kingdoms and slays knights, and especially loves the meat of tricksy thieves.
Oh, dragons might be a little bit much for us.
We could not even best the fish person, fish lizard. What?
Fiendish fish-faced foe.
We could barely best. We couldn't even best that. What hope do we have against a dream dragon?
Well, if it's a dream dragon, hopefully we catch it sleeping.
Right, and you creep up on it, and you steal its stuff without waking it up.
Yeah, I heard that worked really well for a hobbit.
Pincher, why are they called dream dragons?
From the land of Fae. They seem to. I don't know. That's just the name that it was given. He looks at Eyeball. Eyeball says that one of the people in his clan encountered it, and it was this weird rush of colors, and they were sent somewhere else and returned. It's like a huge fantastical story that nobody believed.
Well, I have no interest in an unfair fight. Count me out.
Yeah, I was going to say, wait a minute, I'm a bard. I've got a 2 in 6 chance to know more about legendary creatures. Mind if I roll?
Yeah, of course you can roll. It's
New to the bard. Sorry, I'm firmly in Felix's camp. It sounds a little too much for us, especially knowing that brave Sir Basil will bravely advance to the rear as soon as things come up.
With all speed.
Yep.
the ape looks at you guys and he says, "What are we going to do about the young girl? She seemed human. They do not wish to have interlopers down here. At least the agreement the Empire had made with those in the Underdark a long time ago. She should come with us and be removed. I did not sense she was one of those mutants."
Well, I've got no problems with her coming with us, but it seems like she didn't like our looks very much.
She must be persuaded.
I
then.
mean, find her first. Pincher, how she went? Wait a minute.
She went north. She ran north. South is the door where Pincher says beyond that is the Dream Dragon. And east is a passage where you can faintly hear a river. And he says that's more into the rest of the rest of the Accursed Temple.
So are we going east? We going east or north eventually?
Pincher says he will take you east.
I'm sure it is because she has not heard the word of Cuthbert.
This is true. We should definitely enlighten her as to the word of Cuthbert. For it is my job to spread this word.
All right. So are we camping as Pincher suggests or not? We can sort of, because if we're camping, we can try to catch up to her in the morning or...
Yeah, Pincher suggests probably camping because the fact that there's a bunch of you and you got to kind of like cross the river and go into the temple. You know, you're on like the outskirts of the temple. Doesn't want to do it after everybody's been tired, and especially with two of you who are badly hurt. In
fair enough.
His little brain.
Sounds good to me. I'm feeling a bit better.
Yeah, hopefully this isn't temporary and is more of a permanent solution. I surely don't want to stick around here forever.
We'll hopefully link up with the rest of my clan, and then we will take you out the entrance and back to where you came.
Let's call it for the night, and then.
Okay. So who is set up watches? Who is going to be watching?
I'll take first watch.
Zophan will take third.
I'll take second then.
Karn will take the fourth, I guess.
So Pincher will join Felix and Orion, since he can see. Here in, I mean, there's definitely this bubbling kind of like mineral pool is giving off a lot of light, surprisingly. But he, obviously can see in the dark, so you don't need torches and things like that.
Okay.
We'll be on watch with you. So Felix, give me a d6 roll. I'll roll for Pincher.
5.
Everybody is bedded down, resting, and Pincher looks at you and says, "Something is moving." He points you into the direction of the north. You see a figure like trying to tiptoe around the group. They seem to be carrying something, and then you see the light from the mineral pool reflecting off. It's carrying those crystal things. It's trying to tiptoe very silently around the group.
I will call out. No need to try to sneak, little one.
Give me a charisma roll.
Ooh. Okay. Yeah, that was a failure.
It stops. Listen, I have to get to the door. I have to bring this to the Dream Dragon. If I don't, it will be angry. You don't understand.
I do not understand. Explain to me.
This is all it requires. I must bring these crystals. It will be angry. It is. I don't know why you're here. I don't know what you want, but I need to get past you. I need to get there.
Well, I won't let you go alone. It's dangerous down here.
Oh, no, it is... No. If it sees someone else, it may become angry if it's not sleeping.
I do insist.
By this point, this conversation, all of you wake up. Again, you see it's a young girl carrying like 3 of these crystals. She is wearing clothes that would indicate no, I wouldn't say royalty, but she's upper class. But she's been in the Underdark, so they're kind of sooty and dirty. It looks like there's been attempts to clean them off. And she kind of like tiptoes around as she's walking around the pool, and she's like, I don't know what you want, but I must deliver these.
I have no desire to quarrel with the dragon. I only mean to make sure that we keep it occupied so that our group can pass.
He doesn't bother anyone. He just stays in his little corner, and he doesn't bother. And as long as I bring him these crystals.
Yes, you said as long as you bring them. What would happen if something happened along the way?
What do you mean?
There's many things down here. We've fought quite a few foes. And somebody recently boarded up this place.
Oh, those were some of the workers that he has commanded. They are off in other parts of this temple doing repairs. There's been a few fights here. There's some sort of cultists running around. It's very dangerous. But I'm safe here. He protects me.
Of what type are these workers?
They are skeletons?
We haven't seen any skeletons.
Well, we had a couple.
Are you a slave of this dragon?
No.
You are obviously.
No, I am not a slave. I'm working on my graduate thesis, and I'm trying to get it done. And
This is the doctor we were looking for, or the
geologist.
the geologist we were looking for. Yeah.
Is this the geologist we were looking for?
What? Did my father send some people looking for me?
Yeah. Well,
Yes, he did. We were hard to get you. We were hard to get you out of here.
Well, I have no intent on leaving. I have a lot of research to finish, and this is where I need to be.
Were we tasked to return with her or to return with news of her?
All that you know is that Ox told you that there's rumors of a missing geologist down here in the Accursed Temple. He thinks that she belongs to a wealthy family, and they would probably pay a lot of money to have her back.
But she doesn't want to go back.
Apparently not.
Well, I'm not about to stand in the way of somebody's search for mastery.
I'm not about to kidnap somebody for money.
Right.
Now, mind you, charm her.
What are you studying?
The Novum glass, and she puts down the crystals, and she shows you one. She says, I'm studying these. it will be a breakthrough, and hopefully I will be published.
What is special about this glass?
It only exists here in this spot in the Underdark. It is... The Dream Dragon craves it. It's what keeps him from eating other things.
Yeah, I'm all for dragon appetite suppressant.
But he has done so much for me. He has provided me a workshop and a study room. It is amazing. I mean, you could just tell my father
okay.
I'm fine.
Okay, I am going to say, certainly, dear lady, but can you once again whistle that captivating tune that you were whistling earlier? I would like to play along with you for a bit. And I'm going to, when she does and I'm playing, I'm going to use the bard's anti-charm ability to give her a new saving throw versus charm if she is under one.
Okay.
Because I think Dream Dragon, maybe it has mental powers and maybe it's charmed her or something. And I'm going to use the bard's anti-charm ability, which requires me to play in order to give her another saving throw. At +4, by the way. I'll accompany her for a bit and see if she changes her mind.
Yeah, it's like it strikes her as a little bit odd at first why you want to do this. But the fact that you're doing it and she feels a bit more relaxed with the group because there's a bunch of them and just her. And to be honest, you don't look like, the research types. So I won't give her a roll. Okay, so she sings along with you, seems to smile and rather enjoys it. Let's see. And actually does keep in tune and in time. Well, that lifted my spirits. My name is Gremdillin. Some call me Remy, some call me Gremmy. I mean, I have various nicknames.
Oh, Gremmy. I mean, do you still... This is not a good place for a young woman, no matter how her scholarly pursuits are. Do you still feel that you must stay here?
Well, of course. I mean, I have to get back to the university at some point, but I need to be. I mean, my research is almost done. Let me show you. Let me show you the facilities here, and then I will let you decide. I mean, I have no means of, fighting all of you off if you wish to take me by force. But first, I must bring in these crystals into to Charlie. I'm sorry, the Dream Dragon. I call him Charlie.
They? Who else is down here?
It's just him and I. He is helping me with my research. He enjoys the company. So she collects the crystals and kind of walks by, smiling, happy that you're, and she goes to the door and she does a knock on it, like 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, and you hear it unlock, opens the door and walks through and closes it behind her.
Remember that pattern.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1.
And it unlocks. About 10 minutes later, she comes out. She's like, he is sleeping soundly. Very good. Let me show you. And she dusts herself off and begins to walk north.
Sure, why not?
So as she walks north, she stops for a second. She says a couple words and then continues walking. You guys go about like 30 feet to, it looks like solid rock. And she knocks on it like 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1. And the passage opens and she walks through.
Yeah, I'm remembering those words too.
So she comes in, she walks into this room, and in the center of it is a bubble. So think of like when people blow bubbles, or like they got those big things that they make those huge bubbles that float in the air. That's what it looks like. Look, there's a huge bubble. It stands probably like 10 feet by 10 feet, and you can kind of see like different colors shining off of it. I swear you can hear ocean waves. And she says, "Come on, follow me." And she walks into the bubble and just goes. Whoop,
Okay.
I think we found the way out. Zophan jumps through.
So you walk in, and it is a large study. It is bigger than what this bubble looks like. It is a large study. There are lines of books, a fine wooden desk, and in front of the desk are windows that are open, and you're looking out at an ocean, and the water's just rolling in, and you can hear it crashing and smell the salt air. And she's got all her notes, and she's got a wardrobe. She kind of takes some blankets or whatever and covers up her bed. She's like, "I sleep on the cot. I work most of the time. It's this paper is this is going to put me on the map. But this is it. I mean, this is beautiful. I mean, it's very nice in here. It's roomy, and I can listen to the ocean breezes. I feel like I'm back in Clinkville, every day."
Perhaps you should, since your family is looking for you and worried, perhaps you should write them a few lines and let us convey it to your family so they know you're doing okay.
Oh yes, very well. I will write them a brief letter. That is an excellent idea. I will. So Father will not worry anymore.
And again, I lean on my bard background. I mean, she's just shown me this incredible enchanted object, and I'm going to see if the bard knows anything more about it. One this time.
So you probably have heard of spells or incantations or high-powered arcane casters that can create interdimensional spaces. This is very similar to that. This is kind of like carved out. So whether you're actually on the beach at Clinkville, who knows, but it sure is a great representation. It's more than just an illusion.
And I will sort of pass it along. I'll say, guys, I've heard of magics like this. This is far more than an illusion. Trust me. We don't want to tangle with the dragon archmage.
Wow.
Do you say this in her presence? Is this an open discussion or?
Well, sort of. While she's over there writing the note, I'll sort of lean in and pass this along. Like, ain't no way this low level bard's going to be tackling what looks like an archmage level creature there.
And he doesn't seem to be doing any harm.
I agree.
This is beautiful. Why destroy something that creates such beauty?
Okay, we're all on the same page. Basil.
We're forgetting the reanimated corpses, are we not? I mean, I have no intent to go against this thing, but it's not all just like beautiful magic.
Yeah, that is true.
Yeah, using the undead might be a trigger thing for Karn, but it sounds like it's a wee bit powerful.
I presume she writes her note or whatever.
Yeah. She takes some time and writes it. See, she's sorry. I just had to. I had to do a draft first, and then the final version.
Right.
She folds it up and seals it. She's got like one of those wax seal things with her little G.
Do you need it peer reviewed?
Oh, I didn't even think of that. That was. Is that something you do? I'm sorry. What is your name?
I'm Zophan. I'm part of. Well, I'm fairly dexterous. I'm part of this company.
Then that might have been quite a fall you took. I mean, that your face. I could see the scar. That must have been quite a hit. I mean.
Oh, it was a fearsome foe, all right.
It was so. Yeah, I don't even remember it, but everyone says it was fearsome.
I'm so sorry that you went through all these travails just to find me. I mean,
There could be worse outcomes.
yes.
Well, at least we did find you, and it was sort of the middle of our night when we were when we saw you. So perhaps we should go back and rest some more.
Oh yes,
Finish our rest.
yes, that would I do need. I am very tired. I will escort you back. Yes.
Grammy, I just have one question.
Mm-hmm.
If you publish the effects of the Novum crystals,
Novum glass.
Novum glass, aren't you concerned that it's going to bring the wrong kind of person to look for it?
I don't. That's kind of a moral question. I am not going to. That's up to them, each individual person. I'm just the provider of the information. However they interpret it is up to them.
Well,
The knowledge is important.
or is it how the knowledge is used?
Yes, that is true. Well, I assume you'll be off when you wake, or do you need anything else?
I'm good.
I think we're good on supplies. I mean, the only thing that we might be short of is food, because we got a couple of extra hands here, but I'm certainly not going to rob somebody of their food. So
You need food?
if you have extra, of course, and we can trade. Or are there any items you feel like you are missing down here that you wish you had brought?
No, I mean, but let me see what I can find, and then in the morning I will have some food and water for you.
That would be wonderful.
So she steps out of the bubble. I assume the rest of you follow her. She
Yep.
opens like the secret door and leads you back through. When you head south past a certain spot, she stands there and watches you. You can hear her whisper something, and then she walks back and taps on the door, the cavern, and disappears into the back where she came. And you guys go and finish your rest. Felix, give me a D20 roll.
19.
The shortness of breath kind of isn't too bad, but now you have a sore throat. And those red dots are more prominent. They're getting bigger. They look like bubbles.
Lovely.
Do they look like hives or like chicken pox?
Yeah, kind of something like that, yeah.
Were they noticeable before?
He had to point them out to you. Now they are obvious.
Felix, you look sick. Is it getting worse?
I feel better, but I look worse. I'm going to take another dip in this pool.
Okay. It definitely helps your sore throat, but the bubbles, the hives are still there. The ape Sexitus looks at as he is gathering himself, says, "You spoke with this girl. What did she say?"
She says she is working on her thesis about some of these crystals here, and she strongly denied any interest in leaving. As a matter of fact, she seems to be very interested in staying until she is finished with her thesis. Not only that, she has apparently got a agreement with the dragon, who has supplied her with incredible magic, something verging on a teleportal or a almost a entrance to a special realm. The dragon must be quite powerful.
I'm just one, but I say we bring her along. She doesn't need to be down here. I don't care what this dragon has offered her.
I, for one, will not force her to do anything against her will.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you're going to have to take that up with the dragon down here.
I understand your concerns. I certainly do not mean to work against the laws of the Ape Empire, but a dragon has demonstrated an incredible amount of power. It would be very, very difficult, even for people far more powerful than us, to apply any force here without getting in massive trouble.
I'll just have to return at a later date and bring her back. About an hour passes, and she comes whistling down the passage again, all happy, and she says, "I only have bits scraps of food, but I will get more and bring you some if you wish to accompany me."
Where are we going?
Well, through that door. She points to the Dream Dragon's door.
I thought you said last night that he would not want to be disturbed.
Oh, we will be quiet. I mean, he doesn't mind if I have brought him his crystal, so he is fine.
Well, I'm certainly not going to turn down a hopefully safe opportunity to see a mythic being. I mean, that would, too much of a temptation for the bard to have a good story. So yeah, the bard's going to accompany her quietly. But before we go, I will point out that our companion here, and I'll point to Felix, has some sort of illness. Do you know of anything like this?
No, I don't know, but Charlie may be able to help. You're all kind and good people, I can tell. I mean, you're not like anybody down here who I have seen. Maybe he will help us. I mean, help you. I mean, if you are sick. I mean, you're trying to deliver a letter. You've not come to threaten me.
Of course.
I don't see why not. He wouldn't. He probably knows all sorts of things.
I'm sure he does. Well, as long as we're relatively safe from being the Dream Charlie's dinner, or at least afternoon snack.
No.
I was going to say.
She kind of looks away as she's thinking of. You can see her thinking of something in her mind, and she's like, "It was only those occultists that came in at one time, and they met a terrible, terrible end."
Well, that's to be expected. I mean, we saw them, and they subjected themselves to a terrible end.
They were a nasty lot. They had these jars, and they tried to like swallow them. These oozes, and
Yes, they try to turn into slime for apotheosis or something, but no, definitely not. All right, so certainly let's go. I don't know about you guys, but opportunity to see a dragon, right down my alley, guys.
Oh, yes. Basil's definitely down with that idea.
All right, so who is going in? Is it going to be? Are you switching off? Is it Basil now?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So we got Basil.
Felix wants no part in this, but
Okay.
Clintock will slink behind and follow at a distance.
Oh boy. Okay. So we got Clintock, we got Orion, and then Zophan.
Yep.
Yeah. Felix is lounging in the mineral pool, and I'm sure Karn has opened up, has handed your new elf companion a Saint Cuthbert pamphlet as he is talking to him.
Pamphlet, yeah.
Yeah, he just espouses relentlessly and endlessly about Cuthbert.
So she walks up to this wooden door. She knocks on it. She does that knock again. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, and it opens. And instantly, as you walk into this room, there are all these bubbles. Some as big as like your hand, others like 3 times the size, all floating around in the room. And it's got these orange sconce torches burning all into the room, and these bubbles are just floating around, and she's kind of looking around. She reaches into her hair and pulls out like a bobby pin and reaches up and pops one. And it drops like a loaf of bread, and she catches it. She's like, oh, okay, here. And she hands it to Orion.
Okay. Can we join the fun here, or is this only for you?
Well, I mean, some of his, I guess what you call treasure hoard is floating up in here, but I would only try to get the food. He may not like it we would have to return whatever gold or gems or artifacts he's collected.
I'm like, I look down at Basil and say, do I have to tie your hand?
What? Why do you say this to me?
I don't know.
Well, I mean, I'm not going to touch anything.
She looks at you. She's like, he looks like he has an honest face.
Basil is a terrible liar.
She kind of walks over and she pops another one, and a bunch of like fruit fall, and she tries to catch them, and they all land on the ground. They're like apples and pears, and she starts collecting them. She hands them to Zophan. And as you look at these bubbles, you can kind of see that there is stuff in them. It's hard to tell because of the way the light will reflect off the bubble, but there's obviously stuff that looks like it reflects as a gold color. There's others that are like, maybe they have something else in them. And they're all floating in this cavern.
I will walk by Basil and say, as we leave.
Oh, yes.
Russell,
I don't know what you're talking about.
Russell, give me a D6 roll.
1.
So as you're moving into the room and these bubbles are floating past you, you now hear the noise of a crunching noise, like... And she says, Charlie's awake. Should we ask him about your friend? About the one who has the sickness? The disease? Charlie? And you hear, yes, it sounds like you have guests. What did I say about guests? As you hear a voice coming like out of a cavern.
That guests are always welcome.
They are kind. They have a friend who is sick, and about 15 feet in front of you, peering its head out of this cavern, is this like dark blue turquoise dragon with a long snout, and it's got these horns and these yellow eyes. And it kind of just peers around and looks, and you can see those crystal things kind of growing out of it, and you can see it crunching down on one. It's got a really long neck, and it kind of peers its head around and looks at you. So, what brings you here? You're not like the others.
We didn't bring the sick one with us.
We were in the vicinity because the lady's family is looking for her and did not know if she was still safe.
As long as Remy is with me, she is fine.
How big is this head?
Pretty friggin' big. Probably one bite, you'd be done.
And we understand that, and she has assured us of your beneficence. We're going to take a letter back to her family so that they know that she is safe.
Do not give them her location. He may send some mercenaries. And as he says this, and he's sticking his long neck and his snout, his head out and looking at you, and you see those horns, you see the formation of those bubbles come out of those horns and begin to float off, and it looks like there's something in it as it's floating up into the room.
Was that treasure?
Would you like to find out?
Oh, I love shiny things.
You do.
Oh, so much. Like you wouldn't believe.
Oh, I've met you mortals. I believe. Remy told you what happened to the last group who came in here.
Yes, we met them. Well, not the exact same ones, obviously, but we met others of their kind. They were uncouth, and we vanquished them. Hopefully that's the last of them.
It gave me indigestion for 3 weeks.
You didn't swallow any of the goo, did you?
Unfortunately, it was all part of the package.
Basil holds up the vial of stuff that he got from one of the cultists, that sealed vial of that goo, and said, "Oh, it's probably stuff like this. Got this off the one that I killed."
Oh. You. Yes, I would not eat that.
Oh no! It seems to they would swallow it, and it looked like they died and rose again. I don't ever want to die.
And the bard goes, well, all I wish, how shall I say it? I'm just awed by your knowledge and power here. What is the name of your race? For I've never heard of a dragon of your kind before.
I am a dream dragon of Fae.
What is a dragon of the Fae doing here, of all places?
There was this horrible cataclysm that happened. I believe it originated in your world. I became lost. Fortunately, found sustenance. You can hear him crunching on these crystals. These crystals, they also give me power. They fuel the dreams. And you see another bubble come out of his horn, float in the air.
What does a dream dragon dream of?
Whatever it wishes.
Well, that's not a very fun answer.
Are they just dreams? Is there any lasting effect? Are these dreams for this world? Or
They're
just
for
for this
they're
room?
for every world. Would you like to find out?
Should I find out? Zophan, quizzically asks, I won't die, will I? I almost died yesterday, and I can't do that again. Anyway, 2 days ago, I nearly died. I'm willing to try if you entrust you that it would be a safe experience.
I will not entrust anything. But you will definitely get an experience.
Will we survive that experience?
Well,
If I was to tell you that, then what is the gain?
he has a point. I will find out what this dream is. Or a dream.
Before you do that, Zophan, I would instead suggest that you trade dreams.
A trade?
Is that possible, Dream Dragon?
What sort of trade do you wish?
That whatever Zophan dreams of, you can have that dream, and whatever you dream of, he can have that dream.
This will seem interesting.
I think I want to have my dreams come true.
Is that the power of your dreams? Is that what you dream becomes reality?
There's a portion of it. He looks up in this room all the time. Some are better left in other places. So Zophan, we will trade places. You will take my dream and I will take yours.
At this point, yes.
Okay, now.
Does anyone wish to join him?
Join him in your dream or join him in our own dream?
Or maybe we could do a
Tell you what.
collective.
I will trade. I will do something. I suggest something different if you're interested. I will hold up that vial with a single drop of whatever that's been described as foresight, and I will offer to trade him the dream of foresight for one of his dreams. Remember, I got it from the devil dog.
Yep.
I have no interest. Anything that I can dream of, I can make happen.
Oh.
Well then, I will give you what you dream of. Unless you are going to resist. He opens his mouth and shoots out this large bubble that comes towards you. If you you could resist it, or just let it hit you and you will be in the dream.
I'm going to resist or like sidestep the bubble, whatever is easier.
Okay, so go ahead and give me save versus breath.
All right. 20. So I believe that's success, right?
Yes, so you sidestep it. Zophan, you getting in?
Yup.
Okay.
He's going to accept his fate.
All right. Orion?
Yeah, I
Okay.
agreed to the trade.
All right. Basil?
Head first.
Okay, so McClintock steps out of the way. Remy is just fascinated by this whole course of events. And she sits there, and the dream dragon closes his eyes and just sits, and you see you see all these bubbles start to shoot out of his horns, just like floating around him. So the three of you are in this open, grassy field. The grass looks like a deep blue, and it's like...
Oh, we're in Kentucky. Never mind.
And it's like 3 feet tall, and you're all running. The sky is like a crimson, and there's a group of people in front of you screaming, and they keep turning and running, and then they stop, and they're like, "You idiot! That's no dragon!" And they pull out their weapons, and they start charging, and that's when we roll initiative.
I've got a +1. Either you guys have anything better?
I think Basil's +1.
Zophan?
Zophan's also a +1.
Fine. I'll suck it up and go first then. Again, helps if I roll in the damn tray. In the damn tray. 2. Oh, thank goodness. I thought we were screwed.
You guys are up first. There are, looks like 4 goblins, but they're not, I don't know if you've ever seen, well, I don't know if you've ever seen goblins, but they've got like wild hair that is almost iridescent, and these like glowing yellow eyes, and they are running with these swords that just seem to like, looks like mist is coming off of them. And they're wearing some kind of hide armor.
Well, I'll yell out, you know, we may not be dragons, but he sent us. Prepare to face the wrath of Charlie. And rev up the sling and fire at, you know, the closest one. Miss. Unless a 7 hits, which I don't think it does. So,
Okay.
miss.
How far away are they?
You could run and... Oh, this is Basil. I was thinking it was Karn. Yeah, you're probably like 20 feet from him.
Basil really wants to increase that distance.
Yes. Yep.
So he'll make his full move away from them before turning and shooting his bow. And he rolled an 8.
Okay, yeah, you're turning and running, and you fire this arrow that just Land somewhere in the grass somewhere.
I see my teammate bravely advancing to the rear. Can I sort of get a little more space there?
Yeah,
too?
well, I'll let you do that. Yeah.
Okay.
Basil's not your first thought of who you want to help you in a fight.
Zophan.
So Zophan is going to. So we said this grass is it 2 feet high?
Yeah, it's like 2 feet high.
I think Zophan is going to duck into the grass
Okay.
and ready his kunai,
All right.
and then move some distance away, and then pop out and then release it. So maybe move 10 feet away, pop out, and then release. Of course, he has his gloves on.
Yeah.
While
okay.
while handling Chihai. That is 11.
Yeah, and you have a -2. Don't forget.
So that's 9.
So yeah, one gets kind of close. You pop up and swing at him, and he was a little bit further than you thought. So we will their turn. He is right there, so he will attack with a mighty 4. He swings this blade, and the mist just kind of sweeps over you. For a second, you feel a little bit you're about to you feel lightheaded. The other 3 duck down into the grass, out of sight. We will go to McClintock.
Yeah, it's Clintock, but Clintock is not here. If you want him in initiative order outside, fine by me.
Yeah, oh yes. I know he's not there. So yeah, definitely give me a roll. I am going to roll. I rolled a 2.
I got a 3.
Okay, so let me know what he is doing.
Everyone else is in the dream except for the girl, right?
Yeah, she is there looking around, and this bubble, you just scoot right by it, and it kind of floats in the air with the rest of the bubbles just floating around. And you can sort of see some of the colors, like the red, and you can see some people running around. It's really hard to tell, but there's something going on.
The dragon appears to be sleeping.
Yes, he appears to be sleeping, yes.
All right. I will step out of view of the girl and attempt to burst one of the bubbles that looks like it might have something shiny and gold in it. Is it within reach? Or
There's so many in here. Yeah, there would be one.
Okay, I'll do that with a dagger.
So give me a D100 roll.
Yep. 89.
So you hit that thing, and 89 gold pieces fall to the ground. Give me a D6 roll.
6.
Of course, Remy sees this. She's like, oh, and she runs over to help you collect it. You're obviously going to put this back, right? This is not food.
Does she say that? Or is it just the...
Yeah, she's coming over to help. She's like, oh, okay. I think there's some water skins over there. She points to a bubble.
Oh, can you go get that?
Oh, yeah. And she runs off.
I will hawk it as much as I possibly can while she is distracted.
Yeah, you're grabbing the gold. Okay. That's everybody. So we got 2. So this is the dream initiative. That's a 5. You have a -2, don't forget.
Yeah, you don't want him going.
Let's see what Basil can do. Basil got a 6.
You guys are up first.
Basil sees his friends and the goblins duck down into the grass and does the same. He was planning on doing that anyway. He's going to duck down into the grass and start moving back in the direction of the one that's still standing up. And he's trying to work out a back attack is what he's trying to do. He starts Actually, what he would be trying to do is circle around to get behind the guy's back, but without necessarily closing in.
So you might be moving silently.
He's probably trying to move silent.
Yeah, you can give me a roll on that.
Yeah, move silently, 30% chance. This isn't going to be good. Yeah, I got 54.
So you are attempting to stalk him into the grass.
Yes.
In the grass. Okay.
I know this maneuver. They're going to try to flank me or get behind me. So I'm going to, hold on. How much have I got left? I guess I need to sacrifice it. Yes, once again, whip out the oil.
Okay.
Once again, whip out the oil, light off a Molotov. I'm going to aim at a section of the grass where I think one of the bastards might be trying to flank me or something. Because if they're hiding, they're not going to attack from the front. So it must be, here or here, and pop it down, and keep backing off, basically.
Okay, so before you roll, give me a D6 roll.
1.
Give me an attack roll with that thing.
17.
All right, roll damage.
Ooh, the mighty 1. 2 great rolls, and then I had to cap it off with a 1.
Now, if you think it's worth a hustle point to re-roll that damage, you let me know.
No, I'll save it for a save or a 2-hit or something like that.
So you catch like wisps of whatever this weapon he was holding come out of the grass and throw it and peg this guy. And he kind of pops up, and you can see that you've hit him, and and it's burning, but it's like white hot. It's burning his arm. He's like, ah! He's swinging his arm because now his arm's on fire.
Zophan is going to move some distance away and then pop up out of the grass and like hit the one that is now on fire. So like he would probably like try to like kind of circle it.
Give me an attack roll.
Well, that definitely missed.
He's flailing around too much.
Roll back, chi high.
Yep.
And duck down again.
Okay. Clintock, 2. I rolled a 2.
4.
Okay. So you are collecting the gold. She runs over there. She's like looking, sifting through these bubbles, trying to find the one that had some kind of water skin in it. She thought.
Yeah, is it that one over there? And point to a different one.
She's like, oh, yeah, and she runs. Are you doing anything else?
Nope, just trying to get all the gold.
Give me a D6 roll.
3.
It is their turn, I believe. So there's one that's burning on fire, and he takes his sword and attempts to hit Zophan, who is right there. That might be a hit.
That is a hit.
Could you see it? 15?
Yep.
Okay. I was going to get... He has a +1, but I'm just going to say he's got a -1 because he is burning. So that's 1 damage.
Yep.
Give me save versus spells.
That one we want to roll up. I'm not gonna roll these die anymore. They keep failing me. So time to bust out a different set. That also failed me. So
Okay.
Yeah.
You see this guy swing this sword and just kind of nick Zophan, and Zophan just kind of looks, and you see his eyes close, and he falls into the grass. See if they can actually find Basil, who's not moving silently very well. 2. 3. Can't see that roll. That's a 3. And a 2. So 2 out of the 3, they had a 2 in 6 chance. Find Basil, who's not moving silently very well.
Uh-oh.
That's going to be a 13 to hit, 6 damage.
Let's see here. My AC for Basil, I can't remember what it was.
Uh-oh.
I'm wearing leather armor.
Might be rough on the home team here.
Yeah. Leather's a 12. Leather's
Oh,
a
no.
I got
12.
13.
You have a
Yeah.
13 because of your dex bonus.
So that takes me to 0 hit points. Should have brought Karn.
The second guy, let's see, you're at 0. He's completely thrown off by the attack. He rolled a 1. Even with whatever plus he would get, as they kind of simultaneously hit you. We go to the death and dismemberment chart.
The trusty death and dismemberment chart.
Yes.
At this point.
Provided by, I believe, Goblin Punch. All right, so roll a d6. Basil.
I got 3.
God dang. All right, roll a d12.
That didn't sound good. 3.
You seem to get the same thing. So you get hacked and start bleeding and then kind of like pass out into the grass. Your max HP is reduced by 1 for every hit die you possess. So I think you're 3rd level, right?
Yep.
Okay. You got that for 3 days. So that was their go. You guys have gone, I think. So it's... I got 6 this time. Go ahead, Clintock.
Also a 6, but that's from an initiative bonus. I don't remember. All right.
A tie goes to you guys, so you get the go. She's like still searching through these bubbles looking for that water skin.
If I've collected all of the gold now, or most of it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm figuring you're probably pretty proficient at grabbing gold and sticking it in your pockets.
Okay.
It is listed on my resume.
Yeah, you.
I will now be more earnest in my effort to try to find this water skin. Is it that one right in front of you?
So as you go to do that, you hear a voice. You know, there's more where that came from. And as you look, you can see the dragon is looking at you. You'd be surprised what the gift of foresight gives you.
There's more water where that came from?
He grins.
Wait a minute. I gave the foresight. Why am I? Never mind. Why am I getting hit on by goblins while he's collecting the damn treasure?
I mean, as I said before, I was not interested in further dreaming because I can make whatever dreams that I dream of come true, and thus I have.
I see. You're just a common thief.
Nothing common about me. But yes, a thief I am.
So he looks at Remy and then looks at you. Well, and he opens his mouth and unleashes a bunch of these bubbles. Go ahead, save versus breath.
Okay. No luck that time.
So you're just nailed by these bubbles. And then you feel like you're falling, and then you land on the ground into some sort of grass. This blue grass.
Gotcha.
And as you kind of get up and look around, you see there are some goblins, and there's a crimson sky, and I think Orion, did you duck down in the grass?
No.
You see Orion, and you see a goblin. You see a couple goblins with these swords. One's got his arm on fire.
Oh,
and they're like, "There's more of them."
This is terrible luck.
I yell out, Clintock, there's 4 of them. Their blades called Sleep.
All right. Can I act?
Yeah, it'll be next round. So that.
Okay. No, that's fine. I just want to make sure.
All right. So I roll initiative. I rolled a 1. I mean.
Yes, there's a Zophan.
Yeah, but you're out.
Yeah, that's true.
Clintock did roll.
Yeah, he could. Yeah.
3.
Okay, you guys are up first.
Can I see? There's one that I can see.
There's one. Actually, you see all 4 of them. So one is his arm is like on fire, and he's trying to put it out. And there's 3 others that look like they're standing over somebody.
I will aim for one of the ones that looks like they're standing over somebody. Try and hit them with my short bow or my bow. 18.
Yeah, that's a hit.
Okay. 6 damage.
Tell me how he dies.
Oh, the arrow flies through the air, and if he has like an arm up on like his left side, it pierces through like his armpit and like presumably through his rib cage, hitting some vital organs, and topples down to the ground, gasping for breath, as likely his lung has also collapsed.
Yeah, so he's like, and you hit him, and he collapses into the grass, and then all of a sudden, this like purple and gold tree just sprouts up like 8 feet tall with all these flowers on it. Orion.
Why couldn't Karn be here? I don't want to be a frontliner. All right, I'm gonna try to do double duty here. Is there one that's sort of on the opposite side of Basil from me?
Yeah.
So I'm gonna whip out my spear and charge one of the ones that's close to Basil, and sort of on the way I will kick Basil a good one. You know, not to damage, but to try to wake him up and then try to spear the other one.
Okay.
You know,
Yeah.
trying to do a couple of things at once.
Yeah, I'll let you give Basil a good kick. That'll help him out.
Been wanting to do that for a bit anyway, so. All right. Does a 14 hit?
Yes, their armor class is 13.
Ha! Max damage. Cool. Which is 6, by the way. Spirit
All right.
D6.
You tell me how he dies.
Nice.
I somehow catch the sword he is wielding right on his hand, and it knocks the sword back into his throat, and he gurgles back and falls.
Basil, you wake up. You are at 1 hit point.
Okay.
You have -4 to everything.
I played that.
Very wise. Very wise decision.
The one that I downed, does a tree like pop up where it
Oh yeah, I
falls?
forgot. Yeah, he falls to the ground and yeah, a purple and gold tree just booms up with all these flowers on it. Let's see. One has got his arm that's burning. The other one is there. They're going to do a morale test to see if they want to hang around or not. Roll. That is a 4. So the one that's his arm's burning and the other one has got his sword. They kind of look, and they're like, let's go. And they run into the tree and seem to vanish.
Ah.
That's
Okay.
That's when I'll get up.
We still in initiative or not? Well, no obvious enemy.
No enemies. You're in this like open field of this blue grass with a crimson sky, and there are 2 purple and gold trees with these full of these yellow flowers.
I'll sort of poke the tree and see if it's real or if it's a portal or something.
That would be enough for the poking. Thank you.
I hear this from the tree.
Mm-hmm.
Ah, my pardons.
It would like to be left alone.
Oh.
You hear snoring.
Did somebody let Zophan fall asleep?
Yeah, he's snoring in the grass.
Oh, right. I'm gonna go.
Kick
I don't
him.
have any. I don't have any first aid, but I mean, I can try to sort of slap a bandage on him or something.
He doesn't look badly wounded. He just looks like he's asleep. Not like Basil, who's like bleeding. Pretty bad.
I'll smack Zophan there.
All right, Zophan, you wake up.
Ow. I just got my head knocked. Be careful. Oh,
Okay.
they must have had some sort of sleeping effect on their blades.
Okay, short form. Quintox showed up, nailed one of them. I managed to get another. They both changed into trees, and by the way, the trees talked. And I'm sorry, and I turned to the trees. I don't mean to leave you out of this conversation. You know, I'm Orion Addercap, Bard Extraordinaire. Pleased to meet you.
Oh, the pleasure, I guess, is mine.
Well, I guess we hopped into a dream, so anything's possible. What is your name, oh wistful tree?
Dream, this is the land of Fae. I have not been named. I have just yet been born.
The dream, we met a dream dragon. This was supposedly a dream. It seems he just sent us to the Fae.
The dragon may have sent us to Fae. I understand names have power, so tell you what, I will give you a name, but I will whisper it to you so that others may not know.
Secrets.
I will wander up to the tree, very leaning in, make sure the two damn thieves are at least a little ways off. Thank you very much. And let's see. I'm going to name it Surprise Gift.
Basil wants to try to pluck a leaf from it.
The one of the flowers?
Yeah. Or pick a flower, maybe.
You may have one. They are a gift.
Wonderful, thank you. I'll pick a flower or two.
The dream dragon. You've encountered one.
Do you know of them?
Oh, I have only been minutes born, but I seem to have much knowledge of Dream Dragon. If you can break the bubble, then you will return.
Break the bubble?
And how does one break the bubble?
That is an excellent question, for you are on the inside.
Yes.
Yeah, that's going to make it a little...
Well, tell you what. I mean, again, it's close to a charm effect. The bard will attempt to use his bardic music to, pop us out. All of us, yes. So, I mean, if it's close enough to a charm effect, I should be able to use music to give us another save. So, a little bit of a jaunty tune. Let's see if this does anything. And he pulls out his flute and starts tootling away.
Is anybody else doing anything?
I'm going to try and launch an arrow as high as I can.
Okay.
Zophan is going to he's gonna inspect the ground.
Okay.
Basically he's gonna be turning over rocks and kicking, trying to kick up dirt, and basically he's seeing if he can find some sort of fabric or some sort of break in the surroundings.
Okay.
To reach to that would be the bubble. Maybe it's hidden and we just can't see it. So he's gonna be basically trying to inspect the environment to see if he can find a chink in the armor.
Basil's confused by everything that's going on around him. And he asked the tree, what happened to those ones that ran off that way?
Oh, they returned into the woods. They can teleport through the trees.
They didn't leave their sabers behind, did they? Or the two that died didn't leave their sabers behind,
No.
did they? Those would be neat weapons. Oh, well.
What about the one that this one was carrying? What happened to that saber?
Which one?
The one that turned into a tree.
Yeah, you look for the sword, any other that's gone.
Okay.
He says the flowers can be used as, if eaten, to help you sleep. So, Orion, give me a D6 roll.
3.
Okay, so you playing your flute. The trees seem to sway with the beat, but that's about it. The arrow eventually lands somewhere in the grass.
I shot an arrow into the air. Where it landed? Right over there.
Masterful, Orion. Masterful.
Well, I mean, the trees did say. I'm gonna see if they'll let us take a few extra flowers, just in case they're useful. The trees did say so. What the heck? Bottoms up.
I'll wait to see what happens to Orion here.
Give me save versus spells.
Fail.
Orion is chewing on this flower, and he just falls over, starts sleeping.
Basil will lean down and give him a couple of smacks in the face and go, hey, what are you doing? You need to wake up.
Okay.
Give him a kick.
I deserve that one.
You just uncover rocks and dirt, Zophan.
Zophan, like, disappointed, looks up. He's like, no, it says, no trace anywhere of the bubble.
So, Mr. Tree, tell me something. Do you know where we can find the edge of the bubble to break the bubble?
Oh, that's an excellent question. I'm not sure.
Oh.
Surely it has an end. But why would you want to leave? It's wonderful here.
Well, I mean, we arrived, and the first thing that happens is you and your friends attacked us, and you slashed me.
I was not aware of this violence perpetrated on you. I am just a tree. I give you shade and a nice place to lay your head. And these flowers that help you rest.
And narcotics, apparently, yeah.
When creatures die in the Fae, do they become trees?
Yeah, creatures never die here. They just change.
When things go to sleep, do they ever wake up?
Oh, I imagine they do.
Did Orion wake up?
He's still sleeping. I mean, yeah, you slapped him. Yeah, he woke up.
Okay.
Couple of slaps and a kick there. Huh? What? How long has it been? What the hell?
Well, it's been about 3 days and 2 nights. No, you were only asleep for moments.
Okay, I suppose I deserve that. I mean, it did say there should be an end to the bubble. Do you want to do a trek across the grasslands, or?
You think we should just pick a direction and start walking?
Which way is anything, Tree?
Oh, with the... I don't know, I've just been born. But it reaches out a branch and points in a direction along the grass, and as you all turn and look, a hut appears, like that's made of this blue grass.
Oh, interesting. I'll collect a few of those flowers before I leave.
Yeah, I've got a few of those myself.
Zophan's gonna I guess I don't remember. When Zophan, because I haven't done it for quite a few sessions. Does he communicate with Jihai telepathically, or does he speak and it responds telepathically?
I can't remember what we decided. You can do telepathically until we decide otherwise.
So Zophan will telepathically ask Jihai what it thinks of this, and if it is familiar with if it has traveled the Fae when in its lifetime.
This whole thing is unfamiliar to it. It is very confused.
Hey, we got a hut though. I mean, has the hut got a door so we?
Yeah,
can
it's a divided door. Like you could open the top or the bottom.
I'll walk over and politely tap on the door.
the top part you hear it unlock, and a woman with long red hair, looks to be human, says in a like a black robe. Oh, say that there are guests here in the Fae. Did someone say dream dragon?
Yes. Yes, yes, lady. We got sent here in a bargain, as part of a bargain with the dream dragon, who is colloquially known as Charlie.
Whatever its name is. And I assume this dream dragon is not in the Fae anymore.
They found themselves in the Underdark, yes.
And it is just you and your associates?
No, I think there was more of us.
Tons of us. So many that, we're just the first party.
We're traveling with quite the retinue.
Your friend there doesn't look well. Is she looking at Basil?
Oh, well, I had this terrible cut. There was some goblin out there. I almost died.
Oh, to be reborn in the Fae. Most unfortunate. But here you are.
Who are you?
Oh, I am your salvation. I shall return you to the mortal world.
Bill?
And
Oh,
how many
yes.
is that?
Oh, it'll just take a simple kiss.
Well, Basil, you're worse for wear. You should probably go first.
Does he find her?
Wes, your characters are terribly, terribly practical, no matter which one it is.
They're differently practical, though.
Yes.
I suppose I'll have to take a chance.
I must admit that Felix will not shy from a fight, so I look at, is Basil, like, hesitating?
Yeah.
He always hesitates.
Yes, he's very hesitant.
Okay, again, Bard. Pretty maiden asked for a kiss. I'm going to kiss her. What the
I saw her first.
I mean, Flintock says it. I look at Basil. He's sitting there going, pretty woman, kiss. What's there to worry about here? I don't say that out loud. It's just like asking for disaster, but Bard, pretty woman, kiss.
So as you lean in, as she is like in the hut with got the top door open and leans out, and you lean in, and she kind of looks at the rest of the group and slips out her forked tongue as her whole body begins to turn black with all these veins and stuff, and her hair just kind of looks all scraggly, and she ages like 250 years and leans in to kiss you, and we'll stop right there.
So I'm glad I didn't kiss her.
Yeah, Bard is going to regret this. Tag fight.
I love it. That's got that imagery has got like some Witcher vibes to it.
Yeah.
I did not know where this was going.
Yeah, so it was pretty obvious you wanted us to do something with the Dream Dragon. There's more than one hint there.
Yeah, well, I wanted to make sure that you at least fully understood what he was and what he had. I mean, if you just turned and left and said all of you, no. But I figured for at least a couple characters, it would make sense to be like, hey, maybe we should just investigate. And then when Clintock was like, nah, I don't think I'm going to do that. I was like, I know where this is going.
Yeah. But see, Basil wanted his dreams to come true, and his dreams are of wealth and power.
True. Basil got whacked again. The same thing. You rolled the same thing. Blood loss.
Damn, boy.
That was going to be a bad fight. I was like, this could be bad.
Well, yeah, you showed us you mentioned the Misty Sabers a couple of times, and that's why I saved my hustle point. Because I knew if we got hit, there would be a save there.
I tend to use my hustle points only if it's life or death.
We find out what happened with what this hag is. I mean, assuming it's a hag, of course it is. What this hag's going to do.
Yeah, it's Faye. It's Faye. It's a hag. You know. Frankly, you know, the bard made the bargain. As long as she ain't trying to hex him, he's gonna suck it up and deal with it.
All right.
You know, the bard's like, oh, I should have realized. Oh well. You know, as long as she ain't hexing him, suck it up and deal with it.
Yeah.
I can tell you what Basil's going to do right now. He's running.
Shocker.
Look, he's already almost died. He's got 1 hit point. He's low on blood. He's out of here. Like, he's just not a fighter, man. I took him down there because I was thinking he was going to do some thieving.
Well, I appreciate it, guys. Thanks for playing.
Yeah.
Thanks
Yeah,
for hosting.
Good,
Thanks for
Have a good
running.
night.
good run.
All right. Take it easy.